we go, here we go. Shooting fashion weeks are absolute carnage. At Fashion Week, only the strongest will survive. Capture One is everything that I could need as a photographer.
Being a pioneer means that you have to question, can this be done better? That inspires us to make life easier and better for photographers.
When you're tethering, it's sort of 80% color corrected already.
Photography is crucial for any charity to exist. Capture One totally gives me the security that during those split seconds, I've got the picture.
My style is generally why my clients hire me. I love color grading. That's where the picture becomes mine.
We have worked during the years with different formats, and we needed to have consistency. Capture One gives you that extra mile of quality. It's the secret that no one really talks about.
It's all about being in there. I want to be part of the action. When I'm shooting, I know what I want the images to look like. These are sick guys, really nice. Having Capture One on location is essential. It's a core part of my kit.
That shoe looks epic.
Higher requirements on set have created a role for a digitech. Capture One allows me to automate my workflow. This just becomes so simple and so efficient.
The environment when you're shooting a red carpet or for a goal is madness. The pressure is huge. My workflow has to be instant. Capture One is better than any other software I ever tried. The right order with the right tool that makes the masterpiece.
And now, please welcome the CEO of Capture One, Rafael Orta.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the keynote section of Next Capture. I've got goosebumps after that video. What a hype video. We've had an amazing day today here at the legendary Holborn Studios in the heart of London, a place that is some of the most iconic photography of the last 40 years has been produced here, and I'm sure that for many of you it's so familiar that it might feel like home. Certainly for us at Capture One, a place like Holborn Studios feels incredibly close to home. I also want to warmly welcome everyone who's joining us online from all over the world through the live stream. The last few months, we've been super busy building, and in the last few weeks, getting ready for today, anticipating this moment, and the moment is now. So I'd love to start by giving you a quick update about Capture One, and where we're going, and where we are. So the last, can you believe it's been 5 years since Capture One became an independent company? It's been a journey that was exhilarating and incredibly exciting, and at times a little bit scary. Like that moment when we decided to remove the output tab and the batch queue from Capture One, and we unleashed the wrath of Digitex all over the world. Feini wrote an open letter, memes were posted. We put it back, by the way. But it was a really important moment for us, because we reconnected with our identity and who we are as a company and our industry. And we recognize that the last few years have been a period of incredibly intense change in our industry. And it's been quite uncertain. And something that has helped us throughout this period has been staying grounded in our legacy. In the mid-90s, pioneers like Neil Knudsen were using Phase 1 camera backs and an early precursor of what ultimately became Capture One to digitize artwork like Guernica with incredibly high fidelity. Niels has been with Phase 1 and now Capture One for more than 30 years. And much of what we talk about when we talk about image quality and color science is based on the work that Niels has done over this period. And he's with us at Holborn Studios today, so if you haven't had the opportunity to speak to him, please do. He's got so many incredible stories about Capture One and photography and the development of what we have done. In the early 2000s, a version of Capture One with support for the Canon 1D was released. And that snowballed into the commercial photography industry transitioning from film to digital. And it established Capture One as the industry standard. So much so that one of the main forms of entertainment at Capture One is trying to catch a glimpse of our familiar UI in the BTS of photo shoots that many of you post to social media. Now, the truly eagle-eyed and the true fans in you will have seen cameos of Capture One in TV shows and movies. So here's an idea for you. Go and rewatch Lady Gaga's A Star Is Born, and there's a little surprise in there for you. Now, many people think of Capture One as a software company, as a technology company. But what if we told you that we think of Capture One as a photography company? Many people at Capture One are dedicated photographers. Some have had careers in photography before they joined Capture One. Some still shoot professionally. And we run monthly photography competitions. And they get incredibly heated, and the nitpicking is the stuff of legend. But the work is exceptional, and we print it, and we put it up on our walls. I hope one day you can visit one of our offices, and we will show you around. It's really fantastic. And we go to the same industry events and conferences that many of you do. And we get the privilege of speaking to thousands of photographers like you every year. And I personally have the privilege of speaking to hundreds of you every year. Some of you will shout at me from time to time. But one of the things that we have learned throughout this period is that there is some uncertainty about the future of photography. And because we also have a foot in the technology industry, we can see that there is a strain of folks in technology who seem to have a vision of the future of art without artists, and music without musicians, and movies without movie makers, and books without writers, and code without engineers, and photography without photographers. Now, this is not a vision that we share. We think this is a vision that is dark, and it's ugly, and it's scary, and frankly, it's unacceptable. And we think that this is a future that would suck, that it would suck greatly. So we've decided that we're going to do the exact opposite at Capture One. We've decided that we're going to apply all our skills and all our abilities and all our energy towards building tools that help you create more, tools that you enjoy using, tools that you may call game changers, tools that you may even fall in love with. And I think that this is the perfect moment to invite my colleague Kostas Kastrinergiannis, who's the Vice President of Product and Technology at Capture One, to the stage. Welcome, Kostas.
Thank you, Raphael. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Well, what I see in front of me is like this amazing mosaic of the photography community. I see like photographers, digitechs, studio managers, our partners from photography companies, Capture One employees. It's really amazing to have you all here. And I'm sure that this demographic extends online. I hope you'll enjoy what we have to show you today. Capture One is part of that mosaic, and we built for the photography community. I'd love to share with you a bit of how we make decisions about what to build. At Capture One, our mission is to empower photographers and their teams collaborate and deliver their best work. And our product strategy is founded on 3 core pillars: collaboration, quality, and efficiency. But when it comes to product strategy, it's easier to start by looking backwards, connecting the dots of how this strategy has materialized, release after the release, and then project those dots and see how they project in the future. So let's look backwards together, and I hope that the dots will connect for you as well. So number 1, let's talk about collaboration. We believe that photography is a collaborative sport, and that you need to collaborate with your teams and with your clients in order to deliver your best outcome. That's why it all starts from tethering, enabling the images to go out of your cameras. And every minute we talk, 400 cameras are connected to Capture One. Isn't that amazing? Well, that very minute, it might be a little less seeing all of you here. But in general, it's 400 cameras per minute. And then it continues further on. Every minute that we talk, 20 million images are hosted in Capture One Live, enabling your teams to collaborate. And when it comes to collaboration, we support so many workflows already. Like we know that many of you are having clients that are remote. Many of you have clients that are on set and don't even allow internet. Many of you like to take feedback on set. Many of you take the feedback afterwards. And all these scenarios are supported. But listening to your feedback, we know that we are in the very beginning of that journey. So going forward, investing on best-in-class tethering and collaboration tools is going to be an investment that we'll always have in mind. Number 2, let's talk about quality. At Capture One, we believe that you never want to compromise in the quality of your outcome and the quality of your workflow. That's why we have this continuous investment on color science for 30 years, led by our color professor introduced by Raphael a minute ago, Niels Knudsen, who is leading that effort all these years. But when it comes to collaboration, we realized a couple of years ago that many of you had to compromise on your workflow when you were on the go. We've seen you shooting on the street, on the top of a building, on the top of a mountain, by the beach, on a boat, under a boat. All these scenarios force you to compromise. That's why we invested on Capture One Mobile. And 2 years down the road, 25% of every set we have tethered today is on Capture One Mobile. Isn't that amazing? And investing on quality is always important for Capture One. I would never expect any of you to come and say, look at this portrait I captured, it's a bit too much quality. So it's an always-on investment. Number 3, let's talk about efficiency. We believe that being a photographer is a very demanding job. You have to work with very high volumes, very high standards, and very little time. That's why we're laser focused on efficiency. Every minute that we talk, 1,000 masks are generated for you. And every minute that we talk, 100 looks are matched. As a matter of fact, we have a team that we call 10X. You'll meet their leader in a minute. Their vision is with every release to make your workflow 10 times faster. And many of their members are in this audience, so I hope you find them and you inspire them about what to deliver next. Beyond these 3 pillars, at Capture One, we believe that photography will always start from a lens and continue at a display that encapsulates your creative vision. Notice that I mentioned a lens and not something else. Now, in between the lens and the display, there are many devices, including the camera. There are many software tools. There are many workflows, and there's a lot of AI. And there are also many constraints and many bottlenecks. And at Capture One, we're here to invest in raising all these constraints and removing these bottlenecks one at a time, using the best of technology, always focusing on our 3 pillars: collaboration, quality, and efficiency. Now, enough from me. It's time for the minute you've all been waiting for, to see the demos of our new release. So please let me invite on stage Ines and Mathieu.
Thank you, Costa. Hello, everybody. We are super excited to be here to show you the new features that we're introducing in the next version of Capture One.
Yes, and as we've said, for the past years, for the past month, we've spent a lot of time with all of you, photographers, studio managers, digitechs, everyone else that I have not named. And we've had a ton of feedback. We've spent a lot of time building for you. We've had feedback online, on social media, sometimes even in my own personal Instagram inbox. Don't do that. And we've worked on quite a few things.
Yeah, still we think that we can do it even better. So especially for those of you that shoot like large volume of shots, or if you shoot portraits, we have a couple of things for you. Because today is still a bit cumbersome to navigate your session and to create the folders that you need for your shoot. Also, if you shoot portraits, today you have to do all your retouching in post, so you need another software to do that. But wouldn't it be amazing if you could do that in Capture One already? So we have done a couple of things, and we gave them to a Danish photographer called Simon Baungo, and now we can see what he thinks about it.
Let's watch.
I'm Simon Baungo, and I'm going to take you through how I do portraits. Having these tools available within Capture One means that I can now do my entire workflow here and not have to jump into other software. These new amazing features saves me a ton of time on every portrait.
All right, that's enough for the videos and the talking. We're going to go to the computer and show you live. So the first thing we'll talk about is sessions. So we've had sessions forever. You know about them. They're a great way to start your shoot. You can create a new session for every day you shoot. You create a session for every new project you have, for a new day, anything you like. Very flexible. But it's been a bit cumbersome to create folders or even to see what you're shooting, where you are, everything together. So we have worked on a new thing that we call the session builder. Let me show you here. So we've added this new section when you create a session that can help you create folders right from the beginning of your workflow. In this mode, which is the manual mode, you just have a field that you can type in your folder's name as you want. So you can type folders, you can type subfolders, and better than everything else, you can also just copy and paste from a list that you have from somewhere else. So take your shot lists, copy and paste, and all your folders will be automatically created for you.
Yes, and if you use our studio version, we have an even more powerful mode for you. So that would be here, the automated mode. So with this mode, what you can do is that you can create the folders and subfolders based on tokens. So for example, you can use the session name, you can use counters, you can also use the clipboard contents or whatever you want. You can have subfolders, or you can also remove them right here, right? And like many other tools for Capture One, you can actually save your own presets. So you can save this configuration and reuse it again and again for other shoots. I'm going to show you an example with that. Let's choose this one with days and looks. So now the tool gets configured to my preset, and I can further modify it. So if I want to choose to shoot for 3 days, I can change it here, let's say 3 days, and then I'm going to shoot 20 looks per day. Now when I press OK, then all this will be created for me.
Yeah, and this is not only available at the beginning of the creation of the folder, you can also add those folders on an existing session. You have a new plus button where you can add multiple folders at once at any level of your session that you wish for. Maybe, Ines, we should look at those folders now that they're created in the Finder.
Yeah, let's see them. So this is the session structure, and then here in the capture folder, you have the 3 days, and each of them will have the 20 looks that you were looking for. Yeah, and since we're speaking about sessions, so we haven't changed sessions in the last 15 years. So we really thought they were due for an update. We have added this new section here called Session Folders, where you can navigate all the contents of your session. So again, if I open here the capture folder, we can see the folders and the subfolders that we have just created. This makes it super easy for you to change capture folder, to find the suit that you're looking for. Yep, and also all the contents of this of your session will be reported automatically to your all images or to other smart collections. So you don't have to use favorites anymore if you don't want to.
And because we learn from mistakes, if you want to work like you've always worked, this is still possible, right? We've not removed anything. We've just added new cool tools for you to go faster. That's it for sessions. Maybe let's move to something else.
Yes. So maybe some of you have noticed that we have a new tool tab right here that is called Retouch. So we have prepared a session with a few portraits that we would like to show you. And believe me, if you shoot portraits, this is really going to change your workflow.
Yeah, so we've looked at you all retouching, and we've taken the most cumbersome tasks and the one we've seen the most often, and we've decided to automate them for you. So the idea was take something that takes 20 minutes and make it happen in 20 seconds.
Yeah? Should we start?
Yeah, let's go. Maybe let's start with blemish removal.
Yeah, let's do that. So we have this picture of the model Luana, and maybe if I zoom in, you will see better. She has some blemishes in her skin. So to do this before, if you wanted to do it in Capture One, you have to use the healing tool. And that is, first of all, very time-consuming, and sometimes it's not even possible because you don't have a good source point. So now what we have done is that we train our own AI model, and we can just pull this slider, and they're gone. So I'm going to zoom in even more so that you can see that the natural texture of the skin is preserved. Let me show you a before and after, OK? This is before, and this is after. Yeah, and since we're touching on the AI topic, I just wanted to tell everybody as a note that everything that you see here is working on your computer. It does not require an internet connection. And also that we, I think Rafael said that we have a lot of people that are either photographers or photography enthusiasts in Capture One. So when we train these models, we use our own images and images that we have the rights for. OK. I think for this portrait, I want to do a bit of dark circles.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So one thing that is good too as well, and it's just like the rest of Capture One, is that you can just copy and apply this to any amount of photos that you wish, right? It works like any other tools. So maybe we can copy and apply to those 4 portraits at once, and you will see very quickly that it will remove the blemishes for each of the faces individually, right? So it will adapt to each of the faces, find the blemishes on the faces of each person, and it doesn't need to be the same person at each time. So yes, you can save that in your styles, in your presets, and this should hopefully help you have a much more streamlined workflow, go faster, and almost be finished while you're on the set.
Yeah, I think it's crazy because this could take maybe hours, and now it takes just a few seconds. So I'm going to zoom in into all of them so that you can see the details and do a quick before-after. So this is the before, and that's the after. Before. And after.
All right, quite incredible. Let's maybe move to the next one. Let's take a photo of Eduardo, and I'm going to talk to you about the dark circles reduction. So we have this new slider called dark circles, and it's going to target the zone below the eyes, and it's going to brighten it up, lighten it up. Maybe Ines, can you show us how it works?
I'm going to zoom in a little bit first on his face. Yeah.
Yes. So you're going to see that it brightens up just below the eyes, but it keeps all the texture that is there, the wrinkles, the fine lines, everything that makes the character of a person is not getting removed. It's just giving you a more fresh look, basically. I think that's looking great. Maybe we can add a bit of contouring to Edu, give a bit more depth to his face.
Yeah.
OK, well, I think this is good. Maybe a before and after final.
Yeah, so this is oh, we were in before, before, and this is the after. Yeah, with the contouring, what you're doing is that you are adding depth to the portrait. You can really see it in this one.
Yeah. Should we go to the next one?
Yeah. Next one is Nancy. And here I would like to show you and talk to you about the even skin. And even skin, what it does is that will even out the contrast on the skin. So it's a little bit more subtle than the others, so I'm gonna zoom in quite a lot. And I think in this portrait specifically, it's quite visible on her forehead, so you want to be looking at this area here. So now we'll pull it up. And you see, let me show you a before and after. This is the before, and this is the after. We also know that it's very important for photographers, how much retouching you do. It really depends on your personal taste or your client taste. So we decided to add an extra slider for the even skin that is called the texture slider. And with that, you can have more or less of the natural texture of the skin. So if I bring it all the way to -100, it gets a lot smoother. Let me do a quick before, after. And if you go all the way up, you are preserving more of the natural texture. OK, I will just put it to some other values. Let's finish up with some dark circles and a little bit of blemishes.
Yeah, looking good.
Yeah. Should we do a last before after?
Yeah.
This is the before, and that's the after.
OK, now let me take you to a section of the tool that we haven't mentioned much, which is the top section that you can see on the left. And it will make more sense when we go to a picture with more than one person. So in this picture, you have Nora and Nancy. And you can see here that their two faces are detected. And this actually gives you the opportunity to retouch both individually, right? You don't necessarily want to apply the same values on each of the faces. So maybe let's go to Nora and do a bit of blemish removal. She needs it a bit more. And then Nancy, probably a bit of even skin and maybe some dark circles removal.
Yeah, like this?
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah. I think to finish up, we could actually choose the all and add a bit of contouring to both of them at the same time. So the contouring algorithm is actually very smart because it will only add shadows to the places where they are needed. If you look into Nora's face, I'm going to zoom in a little bit there. There you go. You can see that her left cheek has more highlights, and her right cheek has more shadows. So the contouring has been adding the shadows where they are needed. So I'm going to do just a quick before-after for only the contouring. That's before, and this is after. Before and after. Yeah.
All right, we should be pretty much finished. It's a bit too much, though.
I think it's a bit too much, yes. So what we can do is that we have also added this slider up here called Impact, where you can tune it down afterwards. So if you overdo it, you can just bring it down a little bit, and it will work with all the sliders. It's also a very nice way if you have a look applied to see what is the effect of the retouching along. So you can bring it all the way down, and then you are seeing basically the before, like without the effect of this tool.
OK, great. As I was mentioning before, you can combine everything that you're usually doing, editing, but also this retouching in one style, and be almost done in one click. So we've prepared a style. We're honestly expecting you to do much better than we did, but we can show you in just one click, a keyboard shortcut press, actually, that it can just work. So it's going to take just a few seconds, but all the images are color-graded and retouched.
Yeah.
All right. The best thing with this is that it also works when you're tethering, right? So you can just shoot, and it will come in at the same time. Maybe we have a short video to show you how Simon worked with it.
I had already set up my next capture adjustment. This meant that every time a new image gets into the computer, the retouch is already applied. This keeps things easy and consistent, and it saves me from having to repeat edits later.
Yeah, that was really nice. So this is all we had to do for you for the big announcements.
And if you're excited to try, as excited as we are for announcing it, you can actually download it now. The beta is available from today. You have a QR code on your screen, and otherwise you can go to capture1.com/beta. Everyone can get in. There's no NDA anymore. It's free for all.
Yes, and if you don't want to work with beta software, the release will happen in a couple of weeks from now for both Mac and Windows. On mobile, it will come at the end of the summer, together with support for sessions.
Yeah, and as beta software is beta software, we're actually looking for feedback. So we really hope that you guys try it and that you give us feedback, tell us everything that you think about it. We build this with you, for you, and we really hope that you like it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ines and Mathieu. That was absolutely awesome. So we've been super busy building all of these things that we showed you today, and they're going to be available very, very soon, as Mathieu and Ines said. And now we get back to work. We're not even halfway through the year, and we've got incredible plans for the future. Now, some of you will have noticed that there's a new logo, a new typography with Capture One. Yes, we're also introducing a new visual identity today, together with this release. It makes a very subtle homage to our background, our heritage in photography. It might remind you of lens rings and the lettering that you see on lenses, and if it does, is because we picked it that way. So thank you very, very much. I really look forward to seeing all the work that you're going to be doing with everything that we showed you today. And I really also want to thank everyone who joined online from all over the world through the live stream. See you next time.